Hi, I'm Father Kevin Mannara. I've been asked to talk about religious life and why religious life. So I became a Basilian. My first profession was 6 years ago, and 3 years ago I was ordained a priest. So before that, I had spent my career in secondary education and in serving in parishes. So when the feeling or the call from God to consider priesthood first started coming to me, I actually was more drawn, or so I thought, to diocesan priesthood. And I began to discern with the diocese, but something was missing and I really couldn't say exactly what it was. So I enrolled in a graduate school of theology that was a combination of religious men and women along with lay men and women who were preparing for service in the church. And it was a great environment. It was a Catholic Theological Union in Chicago. And I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But one of the things that I really noticed in getting to know religious men and women, including the religious men who were preparing for priesthood, was a different perspective on the church. And having lived in a couple different cities, I could say that the perspective of the church is usually just what we know it to be. But with religious, there was like a global perspective. It was truly a Catholic, with a small c, like a universal perspective on what it meant to serve the church. And I found that really fascinating. How their formation took them to different parts of the world, and how being a member of a religious community allowed them to see the great breadth of what it means to serve the church. That was really attractive. And the other thing I found really attractive was how by their living in community, they were able to be a support to each other, challenge each other, comfort each other. And I realized as I thought about it, having served the church as a single person, there's a great benefit to being part of a community and serving together. What it does is it brings sort of the wealth of the community and the wisdom and the history all to the apostolate, whoever it is that we're doing, working in a parish or a school. So as I became more serious about thinking about priesthood, I found myself sort of falling into the idea of religious life was something that was both supportive and challenging for me, and really broadened my perspective. So I considered discerning with the Basilian Fathers because I had met them in high school, and they also did the work that I really had done and was looking forward to doing, which is working in schools and in parishes. And as I got to know them, as I was looking at different communities, I started thinking, do I want to be like these men who I'm meeting? What in their formation allows me to grow and to develop, but most of all, to be able to serve the mission of Jesus Christ. And that's the other thing that I really appreciated about religious, was there very much was a sense of mission to the whole church, mission to being a prophetic voice, to trying to be the voice of God in the world today. All of those things were drawing me. And as I got to know the Basilians in particular, I found a familiarity in the sense that, the Basilians began as diocesan priests, and part of our charism is to work very closely with the local diocesan priests. And at the same time, though, we're religious, so we live in community and work across different parts of the world, wherever we're called and sent. And I've started to realize I could be like them, and I wanted to be like them. So as my vocation unfolded and I started to take it more seriously, I really realized the advice that I had been given, actually by a bishop early on, was to consider religious life. And that's not to say that one is better than the other, religious or diocesan. I think it's where are our gifts? Like, where are we going to be most challenged and most supportive? For me, that was religious life. So I would encourage anybody who's thinking of some type of service to the church, to consider where are our gifts going to be most affirmed and most used in order to serve the mission of Jesus Christ. For me, it was religious life, and I have to say that there's more joy in my life now than there ever was before. And my perspective of the church and of Christ's mission in the world through the church has grown immensely. And I'm very thankful to the Basilian Fathers for giving me this chance to serve the church with them, alongside of them. And it's been a great adventure. I think any vocation is an adventure, and I'm very thankful for my adventure in religious life.